The problem is they're not getting access to like quality mentoring or applied learning, hands-on things, coaching that can really help them implement what is considered to be best practices. So what we want to talk about as it relates to distributed leadership is distributed leadership. It transcends the popularized hero paradigms from the past. You often hear keynote speakers or professional development experts talk about leadership, and what they do, in my opinion, to the demise of leaders, is place such a high emphasis on the sole leader, on the executive leader, on the building level administrator, the principal. And what they tend to do is they prop you up on such a high platform to make you think you have to be Batman, you have to be Superman, or you have to be Wonder Woman. You have to be somebody that's so exceptional that if you're not so exceptional, the school will not do what it's supposed to do in terms of thriving, moving the academic needle, playing a role in the transformation of that community in which you serve. And so I believe this is actually leading to a lot of principals being burnt out, because when principals have to see themselves as Wonder Woman or Superman, they feel like they have to sacrifice everything for the building, for the academic performance of students. But in all reality, leadership should be distributed. Leadership should be distributed. And here's a lesson about distributed leadership that we can learn from sports. Yeah, we know these two individuals. We have LeBron James, Michael Jordan, arguably two of the greatest basketball players that ever lived. We're not going to debate which one is the best. That's not for us to discuss today. But what I want to help you understand is we can learn some very profound lessons from these two individuals and their careers as it relates to distributed leadership. Let's take Michael Jordan for an example. Michael Jordan was drafted by the Chicago Bulls. He was known in the college domain, playing for the University of North Carolina. He was already, posited to be a tremendous athlete, and he was going to transition well, and he's going to do great things. He was on pace to do great things. Well, he went to the Chicago Bulls with their first round draft pick, but he was expected to single-handedly turn that franchise around. Well, guess what? Lo and behold, Michael Jordan has several frustrating seasons when he played for the Chicago Bulls. Yes, he's won, 6 championships. He's definitely one of the greatest of all time, but even Michael Jordan couldn't do it single-handedly. In fact, Michael Jordan didn't win his first championship until he teamed up with Scottie Pippen. Okay? And the same is applied to LeBron James. LeBron James, the greatest high school athlete ever, top recruit, all of the bells and whistles followed him. He was a phenom. He got to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and in his first year, he took them to the playoffs. And every year, he took them to the playoffs. But guess what? He could not get over the hump. He could not win a championship. What caused him to win a championship is when he left Cleveland and teamed up with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade on the Miami Heat. Then they went on to win multiple championships. What's the moral of the story? It's not just about how great one individual can be. It's about who they're partnered with. Who's on your team? So when we look at this through the educational lens for a principal, who's on your team? Your APs, your instructional leadership team. Do you have access to instructional coaches or deans for discipline? Do you have access to qualified and competent team leaders and department chairs? What about your teaching force? Do you have quality teachers who are receiving professional development enough that they can be effective to move the academic needle? Because guess what? As much as you want to be Wonder Woman, Batman, or Superman, you'll never be able to do it by yourself. You're going to have to rely on others. And that's why we need to have a shift in paradigm to a more distributed concept of leadership.